Molly Jane, Violet's inherited bisque doll, all exhibited an air of fear, which served to strengthen Violet's need to obey the instructions that had been given to her. She cocked her head and listened intently. Inky, Pinky, Ponky. She touched the head of each toy, tormenting them. Daddy bought a donkey. The door to the nursery suddenly burst open, throwing her obnoxious brother Vincent through its threshold. He stopped in his tracks, taking in the scene before him. The upturned box of weed killer, the sightless Tatlington Ted, and the potential victims next on the list of his younger sister's peak. Nanny, quick, come and see what vile Violet's done, he gloated loudly, relishing the look of terror on Violet's face as she tripped and fell over a discarded toy, whilst begging him not to tell on her. He shook his head. Naughty girls need to be punished, and you're a very naughty girl, aren't you, Violet? I say you told me to, she whimpered, before drawing into herself, into her auditorium of make-believe. She picked along the rows in her mind, finding the best seat. The show was about to begin. Rookery Grange groaned as a sudden gust of wind hit the gables, sending a flurry of leaves swirling into a maelstrom outside the nursery window, drowning out Vincent's sly taunts to his sister. If truth be known, even if there had been calm weather and peace at Rookery Grange, it wouldn't have helped Vincent's voice to flow along the corridors and stairs to be heard by anyone, least of all the family nanny. She lay in a deep slumber in her quarters, one that had been facilitated by too many sweet cherries at supper, content that the parents of the terrible twosome would, for once, take charge of their offspring. She couldn't have been more wrong. If anyone, on that fateful night, had cared to peek through the leaded glass of the mullioned bay window into the drawing-room of Rookery Grange, their eyes would have fallen upon a festive scene, one that was gently lit by the twinkling lights of the Christmas tree. A tableau paused and silent, as though time had ceased to be. An orange glow from the dying embers of the log fire had produced a warm, if slightly eerie, shadow to the waxen features of Violet and Vincent's parents, each slumped in their respective high-backed leather Chesterfield chairs. Penelope Carnell, her pale hand draped over her stilled chest, reverently held a sprig of holly. Opposite, her husband Rafe, who for once was lost for words, had curled the immaculately manicured fingers of his left hand into a claw to vainly pluck at his throat, his features manifesting an unbearable agony. The other hand posed a rigid finger, pointing to two champagne goblets, sitting elegantly upon the table between them, their contents drained, just as their lives had been. The Wedding Planner. Present day. Prunella Pearce cupped her chin in her hand, carefully resting her elbow on the table. A marmalade-covered knife teetered on the edge of a plate, which held what could only be described as an incinerated piece of wholemeal loaf. It sat, side by side, with a tepid mug of Yorkshire tea. Binks, her black as midnight cat, took the opportunity to gracefully slink over the open pages of the local Winterbottom News and quickly poke his nose into the sticky substance. He recoiled, sneezed, and shook his head. Disgusting, isn't it, Binks? She gave his head a rub and ushered him down from the table. But not half as disgusting as the bloody birdseed in that. She prodded the piece of toast as an indicator, and then jiggled the nail of her little finger between her teeth to prove her distaste of the allegedly healthy multigrain bread. Just look at this. She jabbed a clean finger at the glossy magazine next to her. Her intense green eyes scanned the double-page photo shoot that spread from corner